March to March, presented by Principal Financial Group. We're in Des Moines, Iowa for a huge matchup in the Missouri Valley Conference. It's the Bruins of Belmont taking on the Bulldogs of Drake. As we look at the Missouri Valley Conference standings, a logjam up at the top. Drake currently in first place, tied with Bradley, but look at Belmont sitting just a game behind, right there with Indiana State and Southern Illinois. It's been a good conference season so far, and we're looking for more. Hi, everybody. We'll welcome you courtside. Alex Sabario alongside Steve Wolf. Steve, perhaps the biggest game of the year for both of these two teams is this one this afternoon.
Well, it's going to be fun. As you said, this has a lot of implications, and it's really March Madness in February.
Yeah, you got to think about where these two teams could end up come the end of Arch Madness. Let's start with the Drake Bulldogs. They've won 8 in a row. Tucker DeVries, a huge reason for their success. He's the coach's kid, and he also happens to lead the conference in scoring, a tremendous sophomore.
He's got great range. He's gotten a lot bigger in the offseason. He's stronger. He can go through the physicality and score at the rim, but he's shooting the ball at over 40% from behind the arc. Everything goes through him. He didn't play in the first game. He will be really important in this second game.
Now you talk about Belmont, and you talk about Ben Shepard. He's the second leading scorer in the Missouri Valley right now. A good holdover from last year in the Ohio Valley.
Well, Alex, he's one of the best two-way players in the country, not only in the Valley. Look at his numbers. He's scoring almost at 20 points a game. He shoots a three ball at over 40% a game. Everything goes through this kid.
Two very similar players, two very similar teams that like to stroke it from the outside. The Bruins have been one of the standard bearers in the Ohio Valley. They take on the recent leaders in the Missouri Valley. It's Drake, it's Belmont, and it's next. Back at the Knapp Center. Big-time Missouri Valley matchup, Drake and Belmont. Let's look at the starting lineups here. And we talked about in the open, no Tucker DeVries in the last matchup between these two squads, one that Drake won handsomely over in Nashville. And Belmont, of course, got a great lineup here. Ben Shepard, one of the lone holdovers from last year. They lost 7 of their top 8 scores from their team that won the Ohio Valley last year. And they're still sitting pretty now that they've switched leagues. Get ready to tip this one off here in Des Moines. It looks to be a potential capacity crowd on hand here at the Knapp Center. These games starting to get more important at the end of February. That's where you start to see the rocketness in college basketball here. Tip is out of bounds, and it'll be controlled right off the bat by Drake. Belmont knocks it out of play.
As you said, in that first game played in Nashville, Tucker DeVries did not play. He had a staph infection. His elbow was a problem. But I'll tell you what, the team came together. They rallied around him for an 18-point win. So we'll see what happens here this afternoon.
Roman Penn working inside it. Now Brody goes up for it. Misses that one. Belmont will have their first possession. All right, Wolfie, what do you want to see off the bat between both these teams?
Well, what I saw in the first play by Drake is what I want to see for the Bulldogs. Little pick and roll with Penn and Brody. Here, you want to see what number 10, guarded by Sturtz, okay? Tyson, this kid is a freshman, and he can play, and he's a mismatch nightmare.
Run out of time of the shot clock on the drive. It was great defense on that possession for Drake, but Drew Freeberg draws the foul. So take a look at Casey Alexander, a former Belmont player, was a longtime assistant and moved on to start his head coaching career, now his 4th season as head coach of the Bruins. And we look at Darren DeVries, 5th season at Drake, actually applied for this job on 2 different occasions, didn't get it. 3rd time was the charm, and what a job he's done since taking over here in Des Moines.
I mean, all he does is win. He's very matter of fact. He'll tell you exactly what he's thinking. He's not a guy that's going to hold back.
Freiberg goes 1 of 2 at the line. So Belmont on the scoreboard first. Now, free throws were an issue in that last game, too, between Belmont and Drake.
Well, it's interesting because Belmont started out the game 1 of 8 from the free throw and 1 of 9 from behind the arc. And they're a really good three-point shooting team.
Ball moving here. DJ Wilkins launches the 3 and buries it. The graduate.
Wilkins is arguably the best defender in the conference. And if he gets an open 3, he'll take it. That time it was a contested 3. But if you get 2 or 3 threes out of this kid, you're going to be good.
There's a takeaway at 3-on-1. Sturtz Back outside, Wilkins again for three. This time hits the front of the rim. Both these teams like to shoot it from the outside. There's Tyson has that shot blocked.
That was blocked by Sturtz. He's got 3 or 4 inches on Sturtz. Sturtz still raised up and blocked it.
This is Roman Penn.
And it's interesting, in the first game, DeVries had not played. That's the first time he's touched the ball so far in the game. We've been playing without him here in the first couple minutes.
DeVries takes it to the block. One on the shot clock's got to get it off. He does and misses short. Good defensive possession there from Belmont.
Number 3, Davidson's a guy with a shoulder injury, missed 6 games early in the year. Very talented recruit, came in as a transfer from Texas Tech.
This is Shepard, second leading scorer, trying to get it to Bronze, wasn't expecting it, bounced off his shoulder. Now here comes Penn in the open floor, takes it to the rim and scores. Roman Penn. Another one of these old folks, Andre. They've got 3 players that are in their mid-20s playing on this team.
And it's interesting is right now, Belmont's got to settle down. This is what happened in the first game. They got to take control of the basketball. They have to make better decisions in the half court. Defense leads to offense. You see the inadvertent pass to Braun, and Penn in transition is as good as they get. He's able to finish at the rim.
And he's the all-time assist leader here in Drake. That time he just took it to the rim himself off of the steal. Off of the inbound. 3-ball missed. There from Kate Tyson. What a freshman season he's had. Well,
the Bruins are going to have to knock down some threes in order to win this game. In the first game, they were 1 of 16. That just doesn't happen in Nashville.
Breeze wanted to foul, hit the follow-away jumper there, but the Bulldogs already out to a 7-1 lead.
I'd like to see the Bruins get something going to the basket, maybe get a foul, but see the basketball go through the hoop. And that's the guy to do it, Ben Shepard. I mean, he is in line, along with DeVries. One of the guys, possibly be the MVP of the league.
Coach Alexander was saying consistency and efficiency across the board. Just does so many things so well, works hard on his game.
A leading scorer and averages over 3 assists per game. I mean, that's talent right there.
That's out of play. Belmont trying to get a little physical here.
No time. That time the Bruins got away with one because on that backdoor play, Freiberg lost his man. He had his back to the ball, didn't really see the pass.
So now Calhoun has checked in for Drake. More than 4 minutes gone by as Shepard pulls up again and hits another one from IDT.
He's a problem. He's one of those guys that is just calm and cool and collect, very poised. You got to get a hand up all the time. You have to know where he is.
Drake will swing it around. Connor Enright. Now back up to Penn. Man takes it, stops, a little floater, can't finish. Offensive rebound, Brody puts it back up, can't finish, but a foul. Brody's got free throws coming up. Freiberg committing the foul. Off the bat early. Starting to see a lot from Tucker DeVries with the fall away here, but Ben Shepard trying to keep the Bruins in the game. You're watching March to March, presented by Principal Financial Group.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Principal, helping you plan, protect, invest, and retire. And by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
Back here in Des Moines, Drake went out to a 7-1 lead, but Belmont has scored the last 2 buckets to make it a 2-point game. Let's update you on the Missouri Valley Conference standings. Bradley has won earlier this afternoon against Southern Illinois, so they improved to 14-4 in the league. So Drake now a half game behind Bradley. So this one is over. Belmont, you can see right there, game and a half behind Radford in the standings. But what a logjam up at the top of the conference. You add Murray State, you add Belmont, who was already a tough league. Even though you lose Loyola Chicago, this is still one of the toughest mid-majors in college basketball.
I'll tell you, it's a tough out, and it's fun to watch. I mean, all these teams are capable, and I think that it is very unfortunate that a lot of the leagues like the Missouri Valley and the MAC and Mountain West don't really get their due. It's so hard for them to play non-conference games, and if they win, a lot of times the teams they scheduled were not as strong as they were the year before. So it's hard to get a couple teams in.
Hey, Tyson was working down low. We talked about him a second ago, the freshman, the reigning Mr. Basketball in North Carolina. Hard to see how the North Carolina Mr. Basketball ends up all the way in Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, he had a really off AAU season. And actually, the coaches at Belmont were not sure. They were like on the fence, and he had a great high school season, and that's why he was able to land in Nashville.
Search with a runner, could not finish. Here's Gillespie. Freiberg thought about the three, takes one dribble. But look how quickly they react and get to the shooters.
I tell you, with Gillespie in the game, it's a faster-paced game. This is a freshman has got a lot of skill. As you see, Stevens hit another jump shot. Number 2 in the blue. Keep an eye on him. He has come off the bench, but he started early in the season.
6-0 run for Belmont, all the points scored by Ben Shepard. And he telegraphed that he was trying to get that steal on Penn, ended up just mistiming that steal attempt. A miss on the 3 in the corner from Calhoun. And now Belmont bring it the other way. We're tied at 7. We had 6 straight points here scored by Belmont.
Boy, the defense by Drake of not allowing, the pushing everybody off of the three-point line, not allowing dribble penetration. But I'll tell you, somebody else has got to step up besides Shepard. Shepard able to get a nice jump shot in the lane. Raising up over Enright. He's got a little bit of height advantage over Enright, as you can see right there. Davidson's back in the game for Shepard. Davidson hurt his shoulder before the season started, and Gillespie had a play. It was really a benefit for Gillespie to be able to get thrown into the lineup early, because now they can play both together.
Calhoun commits the foul, so the ball can get inbounded here. So Freiberg will do the inbounding here for Belmont. Gets it into Tyson, thought about the 3, head fake, now takes the 3 and a little long way. Enright to the cutter. Nate Ferguson lays it up and in.
That is how big guys should play. Ferguson down to the other end, played good defense, got the rebound and sprinted to break and was able to finish it. You reward the big guy in the break.
DeVries going after it defensively, out of play.
Well, here's Ferguson running the lane. Beautiful pass by Enright for the easy 2.
Boy, when he got reserves making passes like that.
Well, it was reserve to reserve.
Yeah.
And it was also great defense on the other end.
Gillespie inside, has it blocked from behind. Nate Ferguson getting it done on the defensive end now.
Well, this isn't a really deep Belmont, or I'm sorry, a really deep Drake team. But to get this coming off the bench, Brody sitting on the pine for a little bit, getting a rest, good defense.
Gillespie working. Outside Davidson, good head fake. Drives, runner, off-balance shot off the window. Everybody going to the deck there. And Enright comes up with it. Enright in transition. DeVries in the corner. Got it! Tucker DeVries from downtown.
It's a different game when Enright is in the game. Penn is more methodical. Yes, he can get it out and go. He is quick. But Enright is like the Energizer Bunny, and he created that shot for DeVries on the corner.
After 6 straight points scored by Belmont, it's been 5 in a row now for Drake. Driving it to the bucket and scoring, count it, and the foul. Calhoun picking up his 2nd foul here.
Well, watch how quick Enright gets down court. He's beating everybody down there, and then DeVries goes over and spots up. He knows that Enright's looking for him, and then you'll see Tyson just going through the contact. This is a freshman now, and he has just gotten better and better.
He scored 2,000 points in high school. He's the top freshman scorer in the Missouri Valley at 13 and a half a game. I mean, how often do you see a freshman, especially on a mid-major freshman, score 13 and a half a game?
I'll tell you, this is a kid that he's going to get caught for the wraparound, but he is a mismatch because he can play on the perimeter. You'll see right here that he is holding DeVries on the side. You cannot put your hand around him. I mean, you know, yes, in NFL football you can do that when you're, you know, defensive back, but you cannot do it in college basketball.
7.5 gone by. Drake up 12-9. Enright going baseline. Bounce pass, right corner. Jam Goose comes up empty on the three. Miss on the shot there. Enright, left corner for three. In and out that time. Offensive rebound, Ferguson, and he's hauled down in a foul committed.
When a game of this magnitude and such a meaningful game, it's going to be physical. And both teams need to match that physicality. You're seeing it under the basket. And I love that the officials aren't calling everything. You see Casey Alexander sitting on the sideline.
Michael Shanks called for the foul there for Belmont. DeVries working inside, and a foul called. 2 free throws coming up for him. It's been a physical start to this game. It's a battle for first in the Missouri Valley. Drake up 3. Now time for the player profile brought to you by State Farm. Here you see the blue hard hats. That's a Garrett Sturtz staple here. Drake leads Belmont 12-9 here. You see Sturtz, the all-time leading rebounder in school history. Hard to believe he's only 6'3". And Coach DeVries said about him last year, he says he barely jumps over a phone book. It's pretty impressive that he's been able to get a knack for the ball here. Shortest all-time rebounding leader in Missouri Valley Conference history. The only other is Oscar Robertson there.
Well, Oscar Robertson, you know, 6'5", could do it all, average a triple-double. Actually averaged a triple-double when my dad coached the Cincinnati Royals back in the 60s. Yeah, that was...
Well, speaking of that, here we go.
Yeah, that's Dad. He passed away in November at 96. Miss him dearly, but really had great success with Oscar Robertson. And actually, Oscar could rebound, he could pass, he could shoot, he could pretty much do it all. It's nice to be mentioned in that Garrett, with Sturtz. I mean, that's pretty awesome. 6'3", and still is able to lead the Bulldogs in rebounding.
2 for 2 at the line for DeVries. He's got 15 consecutive made free throws. Belmont looking for some offense from somebody not named Ben Shepherd.
Yeah, they have to get some open looks, and right now, Drake, beautiful pass by Gillespie.
And the flush from Bronze.
That's what you get off the bench. When Gillespie's in there, you got to have your head on the swivel because he makes plays, and he's very good at decision-making. They have 2 of the best freshmen in the league with Gillespie and Tyson.
Now it's Penn going to work. Nice pass into Ferguson. On the block, draws the contact. No whistle, and misses the shot. Now Belmont in transition, trailing by 3. This is Gillespie. Now a runner for him. Misses off the back of the rim. And knocked out of play. It'll go back to Drake.
It's very important when the guys are dribble penetrating to make good, smart decisions. You see that Ferguson comes over and helps out. Gillespie recognizes that and makes the easy drop down.
Penn pulls up from the foul line. Missed that time.
They got to get the ball into DeVries' hands. Down when they come down in the offensive end, they got to give him touches.
Here's Shepherd on the take. Misses. Offensive rebound from Bronze. We had it taken away from him. DeVries, bounce pass. Good feed for Ferguson. Goes for the reverse.
When you get the ball into DeVries' hands, he is a great passer. Because he doesn't average a lot of assists, don't look at those statistics. He's a great shooter. He opens the lane up, and that's a beautiful pass to Ferguson.
Davidson. Halfway through this first half. Freiberg for three, off the mark. That was contested, it was deep, but probably their best look from three so far this afternoon.
Well, I'll tell you, this is a very physical game. You see the beautiful drive in here by DeVries, leaving Ferguson open. Braun's got to help out. No way Davidson can stop that. So you like when your best guy on the team is unselfish and very willing passer.
Drake working on offense here. This Penn pulls up just inside the circle and hits it.
And that was a pick set up by DeVries to get him open. Penn can hit that mid-range jump shot. He is a great leader.
Lead is 7. It's the largest of the game for the Bulldogs. Off the mark there from Davidson. Now it's Penn. Lead back. Ferguson is there. Gillespie on the other end with the miss. DeVries finds some room, pull up from the baseline. Misses that time. Gillespie.
To see Freiberg get an open shot. He's one of the best three-point shooters in the country, not much less in the Valley.
Freiberg's had a tough time getting a shot off as he misses that one there on a drive. Wilkins left open for three, off the mark. He got the net free though, was kind of caught up in there. Now it's Shepard the other way. Gets the layup to go.
That's a big guy running through traffic and through physical at the rim. Very smart move by Stevens, but they need to get more production out of the other guys. Davidson, Gillespie, Braun, and Freiberg have to step up.
Corner three, got it! Okai Jamgoose from downtown. It's a double-digit lead, a 9-2 run for the Bulldogs. Rejected there from Braun as it goes out of play. It'll be Drake ball.
Well, getting the ball out. Ferguson following. Braun comes over. 10-point lead for the Bulldogs.
Welcome back. CBS Sports celebrates Black history, its limitless culture, and undeniable impact. Happy Black History Month. As you look at the banner there from 2008, conference championship for Drake. Let's talk about Josh Young. His stellar career at Drake included a trip to the NCAA tournament his sophomore year. As we look at Young, and led that Drake team to a 28-5 record, a 15-3 conference record under first-year head coach Keno Davis at the time. Young said, "My fondest memory at Drake had to be our bracket buster game in 2008 against the 8th-ranked Butler Bulldogs. His team cracked the top 25. Some of the great basketball history here at Drake. And boy, in this modern era under Darren DeVries,
Doesn't get Saban on the inside there, Alex. Who's holding off Brody. Brody's been on the bench for a while. And I thought Ferguson really did a good job, Alex. I mean, he came in and gave good production off the bench.
This is Penn inside the circle. Got it.
Well, Penn, he does it all. I mean, this kid, he played 2 years. He had a broken foot last year, played on it. Then right before the season started, he broke it again.
Here's Shepard launching a three. That was probably their best look from three, and he got it from downtown. That's a first made three. Remember, they only had one the entire game the last time these two teams squared off in Nashville.
I mean, you have to hit jump shots if you're Belmont. That's one of their keys.
That ended a 13-4 run, but then DJ Wilkins, the school's all-time leader in three-pointers made with 288, buried one here on this one for 2. 11-point lead, another miss this time from Isaiah Walker. And a traveling violation called against Belmont, and it's going back to Drake.
Well, Walker coming off the bench, he was a heck of a player, one of the best players in the city of Cincinnati when he came out of Wyoming High School. He can knock down that three. He's very athletic. Belmont needs to get production off the bench to try to get things going. Somebody's got to figure out how they're going to break this defense set up by the Bulldogs.
Penn with a runner. Missed there. Shepard has 11 of their 16 points. Now Tyson trying to get involved. He misses. Brody with another rebound.
It's a little too strong. It was a good move by Tyson. He's got to be able to knock that one down.
Brody already with 5 rebounds. Brody thought that pass was going to him, and then it went over to the corner to Sturts, and he couldn't handle it. Coming this March, watch these teams and the rest of the Missouri Valley Conference compete for a big dance. Catch the semifinal action on CBS Sports Network on March the 4th, followed by the championship game on CBS March the 5th. Get ready for Arch Madness, the Missouri Valley Conference tournament presented by State Farm.
If you haven't been to Arch Madness, you're missing it. If you really say you're a basketball fan, Arch Madness is phenomenal, and the whole city gets behind it. It's a blast to watch.
Here's Shepard. Dribbles through a couple of defenders, an off-balance shot, nearly got it to go. Boys, he's had to do just about everything for Belmont offensively. They work it into Brody. Brody, back it in. Here comes the double team. Good pass to the corner. Calhoun got the triple. What a look there from Darnell Brody. Just when the double got there, he kicked it out to the corner. They bury the three, and they're getting loud here at the net center.
Well, there's the commissioner right here, Jeff Jackson. He loves what he sees. We talked about the parity in the Valley. There's a lot of excitement getting ready for Arch Madness.
Drake on a 16-5 run has this place in Des Moines unglued.
Well, right now, this is so important. On the road, you have to make a statement. You got to get something going. Dribble drive to the basket, get to the free throw line, or knock down a three.
Gillespie on a baseline. Nice pass down low, looking for the dunk, but drawing the foul. There was Evan Bronze.
Well, it was a great pass by Gillespie to Bronze. But Brody did the right thing. When your crowd's in the game, do not give the other team a slam dunk. Bronze looked like he was going to take Brody and put him in the basket.
Bronze just over 7 points a game this year. Shoots it at 69% from the foul line. Misses on the first. Coming up in just a bit, it's AT&T at the half. Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg, and Seth Davis. We're going to chat going about the top 16 seeds that were revealed yesterday on CBS during the bracket preview show. That and more coming your way on AT&T at the half.
Tell you what, Belmont has to make free throws. It's so important. And they have struggled. They struggled in the first game. Like we said, they were 1 of 8 from the free throw line. That's just not atypical of the Bruin program and the way they shoot. Just need to settle down, take care of the basketball, and make some shots.
Darnell Brody comes up empty on that layup. On the other end, Gillespie. Like a battering ram coming in, but misses the shot.
I like the idea, but you got to take a better shot. If you don't have it, you got to bring it back out.
Penn, got it!
Boy, Enright full court pressure, almost had a steal on Gillespie.
Fifth made 3 of the half. Oh, what a shot there from Gillespie.
And that is huge, Alex, because they needed to calm this crowd down. They have to now get a stop. Right now you have goals. It's a 4-minute mark. Try to get it to 6 or 7 by halftime.
What a pass. Looking it back for Brody, but misses the shot. Tried to get the offensive rebound, but couldn't.
Good help by Brawns on the weak side.
Now Shepard on the other end for 3. Didn't follow his shot. Missed it long, and back come the Bulldogs. Penn. A little hezzy dribble and drives and draws the foul. Belmont dealing with some hot shooting from the Drake Bulldogs. They have 5 made threes. Drake up 33-19, 3:42 to go, first half. You're watching March to March, presented by Principal Financial Group here in the Missouri Valley. Drake with a 33-19 advantage over Belmont. Now it's a new season, a new conference, a new league here for the Belmont Bruins. There's the standard bearers of the Ohio Valley for so many years, so many 20-win seasons over the last decade or so. But look at the difference in travel. They've got diamond status real quick here, Steve Wolf.
Well, and I'll tell you, we asked Coach about it, and he said, you know, none of these guys were here last year, so they
don't really know the difference.
They don't know the difference, but it does make a difference, and it's a compliment to Belmont, which has been a great program for the last 25 years, and actually is a face of the school. Now, everybody remembers it, knows it from the music end of it, because it's a great music school, but since Coach Alexander was there, they've gone from about 2,500 students. They're at 9,000. And he said there's construction everywhere. A lot of that has to do with the revenue brought in and the interest brought in from the college basketball program.
Well, you got to also consider Nashville as a city has grown in its own right. A lot of opportunities. It's one of the fastest growing larger metropolitan areas in the country. We've gotten more pro teams in the area, so there's just more and more people, more and more interest.
But Rick Byrd,
tremendous job.
I mean, you know, he could run for governor of Tennessee. This guy did a great job. And I asked Coach Alexander about it. And I said, what do you think? He goes, well, he's been the only boss I've ever had. He's a very humble guy. As you see Gillespie getting one easy in the lane.
Coach Alexander even said, you know, we had to kind of convince Coach Byrd to come around. And, you know, he kind of stayed away, wanted it to be like its own program with him gone. But Coach Alexander, of course, coached under him for 16 years. Now, Coach, I want you around. I want you to give your thoughts.
Well, like I said, if you don't ask him, he's not going to tell you. So they don't talk much strategy. But you'll see this beautiful dribble drive in a back door. Penn getting open there. You know, these older guys, this is an older team, which we talked about earlier. You know, with Wilkins and Penn and Brody, who are the elder statesmen, they know each other's game. That little backdoor pass, not an easy play to make.
Drake, we talk about them being old. It's not just it's a cliche. I mean, they're the 5th oldest team in college basketball right now, at least in Division I. 21 and a half is their average age of this program. And you've got 3 players working on their masters: Garrett Sturtz, DJ Wilkins, Darnell Brody. And you add Roman Penn into that, that's a combined 533 games played. That's going to do you well in Arch Madness. That's going to do you well in the tournament if they get there.
And you got a couple 25-year-old guys. There's a lot of guys in the pros that aren't even that old. So right now, this is a pivotal time for Belmont. They have to try to get something going to get that momentum for the second half. Down by 15 on the road.
Davidson working baseline on Wilkins. Nice pass to Bellinger. He lays it up and in.
Beautiful pass, but an even better cut. Bellinger coming to the ball, moving without the ball. That's a big-time play and an important basket.
DeVries. Sturtz back to DeVries. He's got range. In and out that time. Bellinger with a pull-up from just inside the foul line. Comes up empty. They're trying from the mid-range. They're shooting just 32%. They're just 1 of 8 from downtown. This is one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country in Belmont. It has not looked like it when they faced the Drake Bulldogs.
Well, we've talked about it, how they were 1 of 16. You see DeVries getting his game going now a little bit. What's great about DeVries is, yes, he's a super three-point shooter, shooting it over 40%, but he's not afraid to be physical. He's gained weight, he's stronger, and he's learning that inside game, that mid-range game.
He's got 9 points now. Bronze, inside, misses. Penn tried to pass it back and was knocked out of his hands for a second.
With Ferguson has come off the bench for Brody and done a great job.
Wilkins with an off-balance shot. He was kind of leaning into it. Nice pass, Penn with the no-look. Sturts underneath, draws the foul, can't finish. 2 free throws coming up.
This is a team that is growing up in front of your eyes. You see DeVries pulling out Freiberg, and then a little step back, mid-range jump shot. So you have to worry about his 3, but he gets in the lane, and then he can step back. He's got the ability. He's a good athlete, good handle. I really think he's got an opportunity if he stays and keeps growing. He can play the next level.
Sturts finally getting on the scoreboard here. We talked about him being that hard hat player, started carrying that hard hat around last year. Something he brings with him to practice and games, the blue hard hat.
Oh, we saw him walking in with it today. Yeah, so coach, what do you know about this? I don't know. All of a sudden, he just started with a hard hat.
Steal in transition to Penn. Boy, it's been all Drake.
Well, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong for the Bruins, and they need to start finding some success before halftime.
Davidson, free throw line extended, misses. Ferguson with a rebound.
I keep saying it, but I think Ferguson has been a huge key for the Bulldogs. Playing defense, rebounding. You know, when you get a bucket for him, that's awesome.
Drake takes a timeout. They're up big. Point lead for the Drake Bulldogs over Belmont, who was coming in here trying to get a little revenge for the loss they suffered in Nashville. But Drake with 42 points. They're 10-1 this season when they score 40 or more points in the first half, including a 7-0 mark in the Missouri Valley. Just Drake trying to regroup.
Well, right now, if you're Drake, you just get a good shot. Make sure you didn't attempt at the basket. About 9-second differential in the shot clock.
Let time wind down. 4 on the shot clock. To the corner. Wilkins for 3. Off the mark. 8 seconds to go. Shepard. Left side. Davidson. Takes it to the rim. Off the glass. No. Ball knocked out of play with 0.2 of a second to go. It's going to be Drake ball.
Boy, Drake has missed so many point-blank shots in the lane, and a lot of that's to do with the length of Ferguson and Brody, but you have to go into contact and try to get to the free throw line if you don't make that shot.
Just a tremendous first half for the Drake Bulldogs. 5 made threes, 44% shooting from the field. But what they've done defensively against Belmont to hold them to just 1 of 8 from 3. That's now 2 for 24 for 3 for Belmont these last couple of games against Drake. It's a big lead for Drake. AT&T at the half, coming your way on the other side. This is the Missouri Valley Conference on CBS Sports Network. You're watching March to March, presented by Principal Financial Group at here in Des Moines. Big Missouri Valley matchup so far. It's been all Drake, up by 19 on the Belmont Bruins. They look to sweep the season series. Now, coming up this April, get ready for one of the U.S.'s top track and field events as the 113th Drake Relays takes off live right here in Des Moines, Iowa. And it's right here on CBS Sports Network. We saw the baby race version of the Drake Relays a little bit earlier during halftime here. But it's always a fun event, one of the top track and field events in the country. April 29th, right here on CBS Sports Network. All Belmont down by 19 in a game that, again, between two teams separated by just a game in the Missouri Valley standings. Bradley has already won, so they're a half game in front of Drake. So Drake trying to keep pace with the Bradley Braves. We're back underway here. All right, Steve, what does Belmont need to do differently?
They have to get something going through the pines, the strings. They have to make sure that they get going offensively, because Drake is going to keep doing what they're doing.
Shepard loses it out of play. So their first possession results in a turnover.
It's a sixth turnover for Drake. And it's hard. Shepard's trying to do everything he can, but other guys have to step up. I'd like to see Freiberg knock down a shot. And I'd also like to see Bronze get involved in the lane.
Penn nearly turns it over. It was almost taken away. Sturt's able to track it down. He got it back to Penn, and we got a whistle away from the basketball here. And now
they're going to check the shot clock.
I think they're going to check here to see if there was a true change in possession, which would result in a 30-second shot clock and not a 20-second reset, which is what they did.
I don't think there was any possession on that, so they're not going to change it.
So now they did.
They did.
And to Sturts. A little one-handed floater, got it to go. That's the first field goal for Sturts.
You know, Sturts is one of those guys that dictates the game, not offensively, but with everything else he does. With the hustle.
Tyson lines up for the three, wide open, but it's short.
Boy, Tyson is struggling, and this is a kid who's a great jump shooter, but he's 1 for 7 from the field.
Breeze with a long-range heat check, misses.
You know, Davidson's is capable. These are all capable scorers, but they got to get in rhythm. And right now, they haven't been able to get in rhythm in the whole first half.
This is Freiberg.
Boy, DeVries is on him, and Freiberg is a great shooter, transfer from Princeton. But there's just a big size disadvantage.
Oh, look at Davidson slither through the defense and able to get a bucket there. You can almost sense like a sigh of relief from the Belmont offense there after getting that field goal.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he is a really good player. It's unfortunate he hurt his shoulder before the season started.
Yeah, they've been saying he's still not the player that they expect him to be for them.
Well, he started 3 years at point guard for Tennessee Tech. You see Shepard getting into the scoring column in the second half, and slowly but surely they're inching back. And you can't try to relieve that 20-point deficit really quickly. You got to do it smart defense and good smart offense.
With the pull-up, counted in the foul for Davidson.
You're always looking who is going to help Shepard. Who's going to be the guy? Who's going to be the Batman to Shepard's Robin? And so far in the second half, see a beautiful play, driving in the lane. Davidson.
Wait, so Shepard is Robin?
Yeah, no, to Batman.
Someone
Shepard
said
is
Shepard's Robin.
Shepard is Batman.
Oh, okay.
And Davidson is Robin. It's a 7-0 run for the Bruins and gets them right back in the game.
Shepard's about to come over here and get in your face and say, I'm Batman.
No, he's definitely Batman. But they need a Robin. They need somebody else who's going to be able to pick up the slack.
Right now, it's been the Justice League on the other side for Drake. It's just everybody able to contribute as Wilkins puts it in from the side of the circle.
I tell you, you just look at the two offenses right now. This Drake is running a smooth offense. It's fluid. They're in rhythm. Right now, Davidson's been all the offense here in the second half.
Does it again. Davidson, they drifted off of him. Brody was right there, decided to take a step back to get in rebounding position. Hits the jumper here.
But that's so important. Shepard got him going early in the first half. Davidson's doing here in the second half.
Breeze, just a sophomore for this team, already crossed the 1,000-point plateau for his career earlier. He got a shot in the corner, off the mark there from Wilkins. Brody battling for the rebound.
Tell you what, Belmont has come out in the second half and is playing a lot better defense. They're getting it out further beyond the three-point line. They're guarding really well in the half court.
Keyshawn Davidson misses from three that time. Now Penn, dish off to Brody. Brody, little footwork in the lane, but misses the jump hook. Shepherd to the rim, misses short.
Brody got hit right in the eye on that rebound. The Shepherd coming back in after missing that layup.
Penn, got it.
That's a lot of firepower. You got Wilkins that knocking the three. You got DeVries hitting the inside-outside shot. And then you have the leading three-point shooter at Drake getting in there and playing havoc in the half court.
Penn's got 16. This is Bronze inside. Left-handed hook is good.
Bronze has got to get going. I mean, he only has 5 points right now. He's got 7 rebounds, but he's been efficient. He's 2 for 3 from the field. You got to get him more touches.
DeVries misses. Thought he got some contact. DeVries again. Now it's Sturts working inside. Finds some room, takes it left side and scores.
He's 6'3". He weaves in there, and you've got the big guys in there. Bronze, Freiberg, everybody guarding him. He's still able to score.
Oh, nice tough shot there from Shepherd. Just trying to will his team back into this one.
Well, they've been down 14 for the last 5 possessions. They need to have a stop here and try to cut into that lead. Get it down to 10.
Shepherd has 15 in the game for Belmont to lead them. Penn. Working baseline. Finds a little bit of room and able to squeeze through and get that one off of the window.
I'll tell you, he is so good with the basketball. And you have to guard him one-on-one because if you help out, he's going to find somebody else and get him an open shot.
Tyson on the take, drives and scores. Cade Tyson, the freshman from Monroe, North Carolina, the reigning North Carolina Mr. Basketball.
Get the mismatch on Sturts and got a timeout.
Drake still holding Belmont at arm's length. Great ball movement. Sturts, the blue hard hat guy. And then Penn just weaving his way through and scoring, leads Drake. They lead Belmont. You're watching March to March, presented by Principal Financial Group.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Tucker DeVries honored here before the game for crossing the 1,000-point plateau, just a sophomore. But there's 4 current players on this Drake team that have crossed the 1,000-point mark. See Tucker DeVries, what he's done tonight with 9 points in the game. 52-38 our score here. It's been all Drake this afternoon, taking on the Belmont Bruins. Alex DeBario, Steve Wolf, our entire CBS crew here in Des Moines. Glad to have you with us for this big Missouri Valley Conference matchup. DeVries for 3, off the mark that time. Here's Shepherd in the open floor, gets the contact, able to hang on to the ball, get up in the air and finish, count the basket and the foul.
I tell you, Gillespie, when he's in the game, is the Energizer Bunny. He sets him up, gets him back. They have a chance to cut the lead to 11.
Point lead for Drake as Belmont trying to chip away here in the second half. 52-40 our score here in Des Moines. Now time for Worth a Watch, brought to you by Principal. Tucker DeVries, Ben Shepherd, certainly players you want to keep an eye on here. This is our Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year candidates, Shepherd and DeVries in this game, and of course Marcus Damask for Southern Illinois.
Yeah, and you could just throw a dart as far as I'm concerned, and especially right now where we are during the season. You know, there's a lot of chicken still left on the bone as far as both of these teams.
It honestly may shake out to how these final 3 games of the season play out.
But I would have no problem with any one of those three grabbing the Player of the Year award.
And that's 900 career rebounds now as Garrett Sturtz picks one up there. What a career for Garrett Sturtz, the 6'3" graduate student. Blue hard hat guy for this Drake Bulldog team that starts with it now.
It's a lot of rebounds for a 6'3" guard.
Enright, 3 on the shot clock. They just got to get it off. 2, and it's a takeaway. Here comes Shepard the other way. In transition, Sturtz on him, and Sturtz with the block. That's his second big block from Sturtz this afternoon. Enright on the other end misses the runner.
Man, that was a great block. This is getting up and down game, and it's getting physical too.
Freiberg lost it. Shepard was able to tap it to keep it in. Did you see that?
Beautiful play.
What a smart play. Offensive foul called against Shepard. Enright drawing the charge here.
Enright's everywhere. You'll see beautiful block by Sturtz coming down. He gets it when Shepard is on his way up, and you'll see the elbow by Shepard. And down at the other end, Saban and Enright were getting into it when they were coming up the court. And it's not a flagrant foul. I mean, that was, he really didn't hit him that hard, but it was a foul. I can't imagine they would say that was a flagrant.
They're going to review it. We're going to step aside here in Des Moines. Drake with a 12-point lead on Belmont. 12:22 to play here. Point lead for Drake over Belmont here in Des Moines. Let's take a look back at this offensive foul called against Ben Shepard and this elbow. They went to check. It is just a common foul here.
Well, you also, I asked the official, could they have called that a flop? Because yes, he hit him, and he said, well, the problem is you can't call it and review. You can't go review it. It's got to be called on the floor. But I think it was the right call. I think Enright got hit, and deservedly went down, but it was definitely not flagrant.
It's one of those, you're making a basketball move and the defender's face just got in the way, type of deal.
But I love this Enright. He comes in the game and he just picks up the action. He's like that fly in your car. You're just trying to swat him away, but he is everywhere.
He is.
He comes off that bench and just gives an unbelievable vibe to this team.
It's a roundabout way of saying that he's a pest out there.
He is very much a pest, and hey, if he's on your team, it's a great pest.
Penn with a beautiful pass to the corner. Three-pointer, Phillip. Sardo Calhoun from downtown. Everyone filling it from downtown for Drake.
I don't know how he even saw Calhoun at the other side. Now, this is a kid, Penn, who earlier this year had 18 assists against Evansville and had the only Bulldog ever to go over 500 assists.
Oh, nice crossover from Gillespie. Oh, and Enright there with the stop. Now in transition, Enright throwing it up and able to lay it up and in. There is Calhoun. And he was calling for it to the other end.
Enright's a junkyard dog. You just love to watch him play.
Gillespie. Foul call on Enright. That'll be his third.
That's a block. And watch how fast Enright is down coast to coast. It's actually a 3-on-3 fast break. And at the other end, Enright gets called for the foul, trailing Gillespie through a pick.
The lead is 17 now. Penn nearly with a takeaway. Shepard able to hang on to it. We get a whistle. They reset the shot clock to 30. But there was never the change in possession, so they'll put it back to 13. Enright came up with another steal right in front of us here.
He's got a lot of energy.
Shepard, nice backdoor cut here. Can't finish though, Freiberg.
That was a perfect Princeton backdoor cut. Freiberg, who transferred from Princeton,
Wilkins misses off the back iron. Penn back to Wilkins. We'll reset with a fresh 20 here. Ten on the shot clock. Penn sneaks through the defense, tries to pass it off at the last second, looking for Ferguson on the block.
I think the half-court defense here in the second half for Belmont has been a lot better than the first half. The energy, the tips, the deflections, and then not allowing the Bulldogs to get second and third attempts at the basket.
Penn running out of time, and we're going to get a foul here.
I think they're going to call Gillespie on it. He was holding on the...
That's the third foul on Gillespie.
There's so much ball movement by the Bulldogs that sometimes the easy way to keep guys from cutting through is to grab the jersey, and that time Gillespie got caught.
Trying to pass it to Ferguson. Gillespie was right there. Now he comes like a head of steam right down the pipe and scores. Boy, he can go and dribble and score downhill, can he?
Well, he and Enright play the same way. They play smart, they play heady. And that last pass was an easy pass to make by the Bulldogs because Ferguson's got a height advantage.
Throwing it up there for Ferguson, catches it just to keep the possession. Now Penn takes the pass and just kind of floats one up there for the bucket.
Well, Belmont was in the 2-3 zone, and now what Drake is doing is throwing over top of it. The missed shot yields an easy second chance by Penn.
Here's Shepard, misses short. Ferguson out to Enright. Ferguson just finds a little bit of room to put it in.
That time Ferguson touched the ball 3 times. Young guys, watch that. They got the ball inside. Ferguson passed out, reset up. They did it 3 times before he was able to get an easy bucket.
Shepard to the corner. It's a 9-2 run. Offensive foul.
Well, the fly in the car, the pest, the junkyard dog, Enright, just doing it on both ends of the court, but you'll see the beautiful pass in. Ferguson throws it back out. They get it back inside to him. He doesn't have it. Throws it back out. They reset. They get it to him again for an easy 2. That is really good half-court offense.
Lead back to 19. Gillespie now with 4 fouls after that charge. And now we get an offensive foul called against Drake. That's going to be Ferguson's first foul. Called for the illegal screen.
Right now, Belmont needs to get a bucket. This is a guy to do it. Shepard's got to take over this game.
Right in the circle. Shepard loves that 18-footer, doesn't he?
They cut it down to 12. They missed a free throw. They could have cut to 11.
Shepard's got 19 in the game. Lead the way for Belmont.
But Belmont has to continue playing good defense, and they have to make shots.
Here's Wilkins. Pulls up. Contested shot. Can't finish. Ron with a rebound. Tyson left open for the 3. Off the mark that time.
Boy, they are just struggling from behind the arc.
They're now 1 of 13 from downtown.
I don't think you could have said, Casey Alexander, if I told you before the game that you're going to go 1 of 13 in this game after the 1 of 16 in the first game, he would say no way.
Pass underneath. Ferguson looking for the finish, but he's fouled from behind by Tyson. That's his 3rd.
Ferguson's the backup center. He is playing outstanding, and they realize that. And you see Penn just trying to set him up. Beautiful pass on the inside. Ferguson going to the line for 2.
Ferguson with 8 points. Misses on that attempt.
It's just so important. They got Brody, who is a problem for most teams. He can just dominate down low. He is chiseled. He's lost 20 pounds from last year. But he couldn't get up and down the court. Ferguson now is able to give him a little bit of a breather. When he plays like this, he's invaluable.
0 for 2 at the line from Ferguson here. Here's Shanks. Davidson from the foul line. Comes up empty. Boy, Belmont just cannot find offense sometimes. Penn, baseline J, misses. Penn with 20 in the game. It's his 4th 20-plus scoring outing of the season.
Boy, there's a lid from behind the arc for the Bruins. I mean, it is. I don't think they're going to have 2 games like this in the next 10 years when they shoot the 3-ball. I mean, they are a good shooter. They're a very good shooting 3-point team.
It's not just very good. They're great. They're the 3rd best 3-point shooting team in Division I.
It's just unbelievable. Almost to 40%.
DeVries. Oh, the roof would have blown off this place if he had made that draw on the foul. 3 free throws coming up here for Tucker DeVries. Drake firmly in control in the Missouri Valley. Drake in control here at home, just under 7 minutes to play, 61-44 our scores. They lead Belmont. Now Tuesday night at 7 Eastern, we bring you another tip-off from the Missouri Valley Conference as Murray State visits Missouri State. That's followed by back-to-back Mountain West matchups. The Aggies of Utah State take on Wyoming, and Colorado State takes on the 25th ranked San Diego State Aztecs. That's all Tuesday right here on CBS Sports Network. Take a look at the Missouri Valley Conference standings. And Bradley, winners earlier today over Southern Illinois. So Southern Illinois dropping behind Belmont with their 6th conference defeat. Bradley now a half game in front of Drake, but Drake in control. Could end up tied with Bradley before it's all said and done this afternoon.
What's interesting is Belmont has beaten Bradley back both of the times. They swept him this year. It's just matchups in this league are hard as you look at Casey Alexander trying to figure out how he's going to figure that answer out on the offensive end. But the parity is unbelievable in the Valley this year.
That ends a string of 15 consecutive made free throws for Tucker DeVries. See, I waited till after he shot it, so you guys couldn't accuse me of anything.
I'm so glad you did.
DeVries connecting on the second as he is shooting 3 free throws here. By the way, Drake finishes their regular season in the Missouri Valley against Bradley in Peoria. My goodness, that's going to be a matchup.
That'll be a fun matchup.
Could decide the regular season conference champion.
Well, I'll tell you, you can say all you want about the 3-point woes of Belmont, but you have to give Drake credit for their defense. Casey Alexander said they find a way to take away the 3-ball, and they sure as heck have done that this afternoon.
Belmont is 2 of 30 this season from 3 against Drake.
That's unbelievable.
Three on the shot clock here. DeVries to the rim, goes over the rim, and we're going to get a shot clock violation here. And Belmont will get the possession on this Drake turnover.
Really good half-court defense by the Bruins. Casey DeVries is talking to the official about how he got hit on the hand.
Again, Drake, or I should say Belmont, leads the conference in 3-point field goals made per game at 9.8. There's another one missed from downtown. They're one of 15 tonight.
I mean, when you look at it, I mean, Freiberg is shooting at 47%. Tyson is shooting at 45%. And Shepard is shooting at 42% from behind the arc.
Karen starts. Boy, is he a fun player to watch. Just getting after it. Yeah, there's the blue hard hat.
Well, under blue collar in the dictionary, it's Scott Sturch's picture. Just plays really hard. Now, those are bigger, stronger guys. I don't know how you stop this guy, but he's not the face of the program for his offensive abilities, but this is the blue-collar mentality that these Bulldogs have.
Starks completes the three-point play.
See the hard hats there.
22-point lead here as Ferguson comes out of the game here for Drake. And Belmont just does not have the elixir for facing Drake. As we're going to drive to the bucket and score there from Davidson. Good cut.
Well, maybe a little bit too late, but this is a Belmont team that has not had many problems with other teams in this league besides Drake. I mean, they are really struggle against the Bulldogs.
Oh, Penn with some fancy dribbling, but misses the runner. Here's Bellinger the other way. Now Davidson. Shepard launches from three. Off the mark.
DeVries was all the way in his face, and Shepard was 2 feet behind the three-point line. That is the defense that they have used here and employed in this game.
Partner, what were they against Drake last time out from three?
1 for 16.
They're 1 for 16 again.
That's unbelievable.
Here today. DeVries. Fall away. Got it!
They have all the elements, I'll tell you that. You know, it's hard for me to sit there and watch this conference and think that there's only one big lead. I mean, I don't know how you do it. They have 5 teams that are very, very good. And this Drake team with 22 wins now, going to probably 23, is at the top of it, along with Bradley.
We talked about it in the car driving over for shoot around. And, I mean, any of those 5 teams could win a game in the tournament, not just get in the tournament, would win a game in the tournament.
Absolutely, absolutely. They're hard to prepare for too, because they have so many talented players in every position. And Belmont will shoot threes. They're going to be a tough out in the conference tournament because they are that good of a three-point shooting team. They're just not showing it here this afternoon.
Just 1 of 16 from downtown in this game. For a team that shoots it at just under 40% from three for the season. 3-point miss here. 6 of 19 for three for Drake. Firmly in control, up by 20 here at home. Let's take a look at the game summary brought to you by AT&T 5G. Shepard leading the way for Belmont, but he's really been the only bright spot for them offensively. Penn leading the way for the Drake Bulldogs, but again, it all comes down to that 1 for 16.
Well, right there, that is the problem. And I tell you, we talked about it in a timeout. It's not that Drake is denying the passes. They are almost out closing out, and they are not switching on every screen. They're sliding through, and they've done a terrific job from beyond the arc.
Just made their life difficult. Now, coming up next, CBS Sports presents the history of black hair in America, told through the lens of some of the most influential athletes of our time. See the styles that changed the game and would help shape future legislation. Don't miss Crown right here on CBS Sports Network. It's coming your way next. Foul here. It's going to be against Enright. That'll be his 4th.
Watch the camaraderie on this Bulldog team. 3 guys came over to Enright and said, listen, we got the lead. You don't need to do that. Play good defense. We don't need to stop the clock.
Some poke out there from Wilkins. All knocked out of play by Drake. It'll stay with the Bruins here with just under 3 minutes to go.
There's 3 minutes to go, and still Drake is playing crazy hard defense in the half court.
Bellinger takes a step back from three, draws the foul. Well, he'll go to the line to shoot three as Wilkins commits the foul for Drake.
You never fouled the jump shooter, and I think that Wilkins might have backed into him when he was up in the air. See right here, he steps away. Now watch the box out. You know, he goes back into him. A little incidental contact, but still, you know, when you're shooting from three, no reason to be fouled out there.
Wilkins pointed over at our official Terry Oglesby and kind of gave him one of those smiles that ball don't lie there. And Bellinger makes the second.
Casey, both of these coaches, some of the Valley has some of the best coaches.
Oh my goodness.
Young coaches in college basketball. I mean, you just hope they stay here for a while because it's a fun conference. It's a fun matchup with some of these guys. And now Roman Penn has just taken the air out of the ball with 2:37 to play.
Coach Alexander trying to get his team to the NCAA tournament for the first time under his regime. They qualified in 2020. Of course, there was no tournament in 2020. They won the regular season and conference tournament in the Ohio Valley. I'll tell you what, Steve, the Ohio Valley Conference tournament ain't Arch Madness.
No. Arch Madness is fun, and it's going to be interesting this year to see how this plays out.
There's 6 legitimate teams that you could say can win Arch Madness this year.
Absolutely.
Here's Tyson in the lane, got that one to go. We haven't had a chance to talk much about him, but boy, has he had a sensational freshman year.
Well, he really has, and that's one of the first times he was able to have a matchup, a mismatch underneath with Enright guarding him. You can see how easy he can take you down low, he can bring you back out, but the Bulldogs have had an answer.
They're just taking some time off of this clock. The Drake Bulldogs going to pick up win number 23 as Enright for 3 misses. Here comes Shepard on the other end. Shepard trying to go baseline, ran out of room, passes it to the cutter. Davidson got the layup to go.
Well, Davidson's had a nice second half. He really struggled in the first half. But
11 points in the game for him. He was 0 for 5 from downtown, but 5 of 15 for the game.
Well, he was 0 for 6 from the field in the first half, so to come back, you got to give the kid credit.
No doubt.
He's had a tough year with that left shoulder injury. He really is still not 100%.
I said he's playing so much better as of late, but still not 100%. As Penn draws the foul after making the bucket, and Penn just having a sensational game. He's got 22 now.
You know, he plays like a 25-year-old. He's just heady. But the funny thing is, he's played like that his whole career. I mean, he's been a really influential player here at Drake. And obviously historic with his assist record.
Offensive foul.
And who is it? It's Enright, the junkyard dog. The fly in the car. What a great game this kid had. Coming off the bench and just giving energy. You see Davidson with the right arm leaning in.
And the fans here in Des Moines giving a nice ovation here.
That's a great picture right there. 2 of the best players in this league, Ben Shepard and Tucker DeVries.
One-on-one for the Conference Player of the Year award. One-on-one here at the end. Tucker DeVries misses short on that jumper. Here comes Belmont. Nice cut to Bellinger, and he finishes there. 16 seconds to play, and they will just run it out. It's the 3rd straight season and the 4th time in the last 5 years that Drake has won 23 games in a season. Just the 5th time in program history, Drake is on another level in the Missouri Valley as they pick up their 9th straight victory, win number 23 on the the season, now 23-6. As we take a look at the updated Missouri Valley Conference standings, and they're right on top with the Bradley Braves. 70-56 our score. Drake, Bradley right at the top. Those two teams have a showdown in the final weekend of the regular season next week. Belmont, you can see right there, now falling 2 games off the lead with Southern Illinois, Indiana State right in between. We'll step aside here in Des Moines. Drake, big victory. They sweep the season series against Belmont.